Hi everyone, welcome to my series of doing your hair at home yourself tutorials, or in the current climate that we're in, doing your hair at home to stay at home tutorials. I'm in New York with my family and we're quarantined like everyone else. And it's really difficult times right now for everyone, some more than others. But I wanted to add something to everyone's life, hopefully, and create something that was helpful in the only way that I know, which is by doing hair, which is what I've always done my whole life. And I feel like this would be a good time for me to bring some of my techniques to everybody else, which would be things that I use every day. So my daily life would be doing a celebrity's hair, doing a client's hair, and creating different textures, different looks, different styles for sometimes events, sometimes for every day. And I use a variety of different products for certain looks. I use different styling tools themselves. And different techniques. So I'm just going to start really with the first with one of those looks for you. The look that I'd like to create today, the texture that I'd like to create would be something like this, which is what I did for Carly for Project Runway actually. And the texture we loved, and I would like to do that now on my new haircut, everyone. So I have this. Well, I'm loving this new haircut that I just got, and luckily I got it just before Serge Lamont's salon closed, and Jessica was sweet enough to cut my hair for me. My hair was down here and we just lopped it off, and it feels so exhilarating and I love it. I've got my color done as well. Caroline at Serge Lamont did my color as well. So I was really lucky, and it wasn't anything, it was just the timing just all came together. But anyway, so I got all that done before we were quarantined, and now I'm in the house and I have this new haircut and I feel like a client. All of a sudden I do feel like a client, because clients have always said to me over the years that, you know, luckily most of them love their haircuts that I do for them, and we create these looks, and then they're always saying to me, but I can't do that myself. Like, this is so much harder to do it self. I don't know how to do that. What products do I need? What techniques should I use? So what I'm going to do today is starting sort of from the very beginning with my hair. And as you can see, it's wet, it's damp. Most products are designed to go onto damp hair. If you use a product on hair that's, if you use a product on your hair and it's too wet, then you're going to dilute the product. And if you use a product that's designed to go onto damp hair and your hair's dry, it will more than likely make the product strong and could be a little sticky, and you just might not like the product. So the idea is to use on damp hair. But one of the things that I find really important is actually whatever your final result is going to be, it's always going to have certain things that will determine that final look. So if you go into your salon with a hairstyle that you like, then you need to take into consideration obviously that the stylist is working with your facial shape. So the proportions of your face will affect the final result. The hair texture, so whether you have thick, thin, wavy, straight hair, the condition of your hair is super important to be able to get the final result that you want. So those things will always determine the final result that you're going to get. So, my hair is fine hair, but I have a lot of it. I have color treated hair, which makes it obviously more porous and a little bit drier. And also I have a kind of a sort of a wave to my hair that has a fluffy texture. It's not great, to be honest. It goes a little fluffy, it goes a little dry. So one of the things I try and encourage my clients to do is to not use too much heat on the hair. It does take the moisture out of the hair, and on long-term basis, it's not the greatest thing in the world. So I try whenever I can to encourage people to use products that will actually help to make the hair shiny, smooth it, hold it, and whenever you can, air dry the hair. So I'm going to do a combination today using my texture for the first look, and I'm going to actually twist the hair into the wave and then use product to help that. So I've shampooed my hair already. I used the Shu Uemura shampoo and conditioner. Shu Uemura shampoo and conditioner. And this is actually called Ultimate Reset, which I think is something we could all do with right now. So my hair's been ultimately reset, which is great. Super high-end quality products. Shampooed and conditioned, left the conditioner on for a couple of minutes, gave it time to soak in, and then I haven't done anything else to it. I just took the towel off and just put a very large tooth comb through the hair, so not to pull the waves too much. Now I'm actually going to use a combination of this Kerastase product, which I love. It's called Fluissime. And what this does is it helps to smooth down any unruly frizz. So when you apply products, it is a good idea to actually section the hair, because then you'll get an even application, and the product is only as good as your application. So let me just, you don't have to take ages to do this, but just maybe do one big section and take the top area up like that, and then pump this product through, holding it a little bit away so you're not just onto the lengths and ends of the hair, because that's where most of the dryness in my hair is. And then here I'm going to pump it through the lengths and ends on the rest of the hair as well. So that is a leave-in treatment that I've just put on my hair now, which is starting to smooth down the cuticles, which is the area like the scales on the outside of the hair. Now, if I used heat on my hair, I could use the heat to smooth down those cuticles, but that's great, it will make it shiny, but then of course I'm taking moisture out of the hair again with the heat itself. So I'm using the product to help to do that for me. Now, okay, fine hair with a lot of hair, but with something to hold the twist now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a combination of two products here. I'm going to use my Orbe Maximista thickening spray on the roots. And then I'm going to use my R&Co Rodeo Star foam. Okay, why am I using two different products, and why am I using a mousse and why am I using a spray? They do obviously different things. A mousse comes in a mousse form, so I find to apply that yourself is actually easier to get an easier distribution. So through the lengths and the ends of the hair, I just love mousse. Mousses came out, actually, believe it or not, I'm going to show my age now, but mousses came out as one of the first styling products that we ever had, and I think I just resonate with that. That's just, and it, it's, you always shake it really well, because otherwise you'll lose the gas, and then you'll be annoyed because then you'll have a whole load of product in the bottom and you can't get it out. So give it a super good shake, and then spray it onto your hand. And using a large tooth comb, right? I like to use large tooth comb and then just put that through the hair. So you see, I'm using the comb and the product through the lengths and ends of my hair. Tempting with products is to literally come along and spray out the mousse and then dump it all on the front. Not the best thing to be doing. So if you want it to get the most out of your product, then the best thing to do is to use a good application as much as you possibly can. So taking this through. Now the back, how do you see the back? Well, some people have very sort of set up contraptions with mirrors at the back, but to be honest, I feel like if you look to the side, you can do a lot of it from feel. You don't actually, unless you're using a heated product, then a heated appliance, then you do need to look what you're doing. But here, I can do it by feel. I can take a little bit of product, and I know the back of my head, right? Like that's the back of my head. So I feel like with longer hair, you can part it down the middle and bring it all forward so you actually can see it. So here, I'm just doing it by what I can see, and then kind of basically just sensing what I can't see. So putting it through. Now my hair, I know, my crown is here. So it jumps up here and it goes super flat here. So everyone has a crown and everyone's hair grows in a certain direction. So what I will do to help that a little bit is just cross direction it off in the other direction. All right. So that's the mousse. I have mousse left over, so I'm just going to actually put that on my hands and just clean off my comb. So the lengths and ends have enough product in them right now. Just use your hands to just get that, disperse that through. And you can see now the waves are starting to come in. So with my Maximista thickening spray, I'm just going to put this in at the root a little bit, just to give it a little bit of extra hold, because with this style, I do want a little bit of volume. I don't want it to be too flat. So just lift it up and just pump it in at the roots. All right. So it's taking me a little bit of time. I hope this is not, it's a little monotonous in a way, but it is important that you get that application of those products the where you want them. And this is what's gonna actually aid you in not having to use so much of the hairdryer. So you're using the products to help you. So then what I'm gonna do now is, again, section it off. One section, just a big section. These are the clips that I actually love. Make sure that they're the shiny ones. Some of them are dull and they don't slide into the hair. So make sure that that is a nice shiny clip and it will hold a lot of hair. So, so now, what am I going to do now? So taking my comb, now I'm actually going to twist the hair, right? And I'm going to do it in opposite directions. So one goes one way and one goes the other way, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just basically going to go around the whole head and I'm going to twist the hair. Now, depending on your own hair, obviously will be how big you take your sections. The bigger the section, the bigger the curl will be. So I'm doing mine in, I guess they're probably like a couple of inches, like 1.5 inches maybe. I'm just reverting them one way and then reverting them the other way. So this one comes back, just so it's coming, sort of directing it off my face. And then this one will come forward. So it's just giving you a more natural, much more natural look to what you're doing. And when you have short hair, don't worry too much about the underneath, because when you cut hair, you as a stylist look at the way someone's hair naturally grows and they will cut the line in the back to compensate for any natural growth that you have. So you really don't need to worry too much about the underneath, especially with a bob, which is what I have, because these layers are very long and they're going to come down on the top anyway. So I'm going to do the back by feel, doing one way, then doing the other way. Now you can, if you like, just take your Maximista spray and just lock it in a little bit as well. Once you've twisted it, feel like it needs a little bit more hold, then take down this section here, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to take my section and I'm going to twist it. If you want to comb it through a little bit just to make sure it's nice and smooth, take the next section. Don't worry too much. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's hair. Hair should not be perfect, by the way, I think. I think hair should be very, what makes it young, cool, is often an undone look as opposed to something that's too perfect. Because I feel like once it starts to get too perfect, then it looks done and it starts to look like a helmet maybe, or it just shouldn't be too perfect. Unless that's the look that you're really going for and we're doing a magazine and you want every single hair to be in place. See, pretty much just twisting. And then if you want to just mist it a little bit, try not to spray it in your eyes, just to hold that in. And I'm going to do the same on the other side now. I'm just going to twist. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just to literally speed this process up so we can all get to the final result and you can see it quicker. I'm going to use my Dyson hairdryer just to put a little bit of heat on each curl, literally just to speed it up. You don't have to do this. The idea is it has the product to hold it, so you can literally just go about your business, do whatever you need to do, go cook the dinner, whatever it is you feel like doing, and then come back later on and then you have your hair done. All right, so the nice thing about this hairdryer actually is it is really quiet. So I'm just going to hold the pieces in the twist like this. Now I personally like a little bit of lift at the top here, so if you are using the hairdryer you can give yourself just a very soft little bit of lift in there. But the product will help you dry your hair basically and hold it in as these curls. So here we go, next one. And this is all I'm going to do, just very simply, just go through. Okay, so I've used the directional nozzle to create the length as I've been holding it and I've been pulling it, which will actually give me more length, and I still want to keep that nice blunt line to the haircut. But to get the back and the roots, I'm going to use the diffuser, which diffuses the air, and the prongs will just hold the curls in place as you do it. So you can literally just use this around the roots, and this will also give me a little bit of extra volume. But it's very soft heat. You can see it's right on my scalp. This is really, really soft heat. It's not going to dry my hair out at all. But you can see just get like a little bit more volume. So now we have either the air dried look or the look that you did with the diffuser or the hair dryer, just to speed things up a little bit. So super, super easy. Now all you need to do is just put your fingers through it. And remember, this is meant to be like a very undone kind of natural look. You can also use a little bit of the wide tooth comb if you like as well. And just literally just break it all up. Put your fingers through it. And you'll see you get the little irregularness, nice waves with that texture. You see there, this one was going backwards, this one's going forwards. So you're getting a very undone natural look to the hair with a little bit of volume kind of where you want that volume, right? One thing that I do kind of love to do now is, remember we were talking about, we haven't used heat to necessarily to smooth down the cuticles. So once the hair's dry, especially hair like mine that has a lot of color on it, I like to use a little bit of the, I use a varying amount of creams, but this one is the Christophe Robin, is an amazing, just very super, super light cream that will just close down those cuticles on the ends. So you just use a very, very tiny bit of this. Anything that you're using on the hair that's dry, remember it's going to be at its most strong. So you want a very, very little bit of that product. Otherwise you're going to make your hair oily. Tiny, tiny little bit. Just very, very small amount. Rub it into your hands. And what you can do if you want, just dab it on a towel just to take off, just to make sure that you're not getting too much. And then just literally just seal the ends. And you can see the difference. See the difference in the two sides? How that just gives you a really lovely shine onto those ends without actually having to, as I say, use heat. You're just sealing that all in. And you can use a little bit, you can go back in, you can use a little bit more just to seal and to add shine to those ends. You can also use a little hairspray if you like, just to seal it a little bit if you like. If you like a little volume, you can always spray underneath. That will give you a little bit more fullness to it as well. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. This is the final result. Super easy. Be well.